Genetic sequence of COVID-19, December 28, 2019. A virologist named Lily Ren, affiliated with the Institute of Pathogen Biology of Chinese Academy of Medical Sciences in Beijing, submitted the COVID-19 virus sequence to the National Institutes of Health (NIH) GenBank on December 28, 2019, as revealed by documents obtained by the House Energy and Commerce Committee from the Department of Health and Human Services (HHS). This submission occurred 2 weeks before China publicly released the virus's genome sequence. The lag raises concerns that Beijing may have withheld crucial information during the global response to the virus. Lily Ren is identified as a sub-grantee of the EcoHealth Alliance nonprofit, which previously granted NIH funds to the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The HHS characterized Ren's submission as incomplete and lacking necessary information for publication. The HHS issued a resubmission request to Ren on December 31, 2019, with a deadline of January 14, 2020, for additional information. However, no new submission from Ren was received. The Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention released a sequence closely resembling Ren's about 2 weeks later, on January 10, 2020, claiming to have done so promptly upon availability. Republican Representatives Cathy McMorris Rodgers, Brett Guthrie, and Morgan Griffith expressed skepticism, emphasizing the need for transparency in understanding the origins of SARS-CoV-2. In response to the controversy, an HHS spokesperson stated that Ren's submission was unable to be verified despite follow-ups, and another group submitted a nearly identical verifiable sequence to GenBank on January 12, 2020. NIH scientists and others utilized this publicly available information for their research on the origins of COVID-19. The spokesperson acknowledged the importance of addressing the Chinese government's lack of transparency and ensuring access to critical information for investigating future pandemics. But why does this matter? Well, it raises some grave concerns. The lag in time between Ren's submission and the public release by China raises questions about transparency. Was Beijing withholding crucial information during the global response to the virus? It seems that the information was out there, but was it complete? This question looms large as we delve deeper into the story of the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. As we peel back the layers, we might be left with more questions than answers. But isn't that the nature of science? To question, to probe, and to never stop seeking the truth. The days ticked by, and the crucial information remained elusive. The HHS was left waiting, the pieces of the puzzle still incomplete. The situation was puzzling. The information was there, but it seemed that something was missing. What did China do next? Just 2 weeks after Ren's submission, the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention publicized a sequence closely resembling hers. The date was January 10, 2020, and they claimed that they released the sequence as quickly as it became available. However, not everyone was convinced. 3 Republican representatives, Cathy McMorris Rodgers, Brett Guthrie, and Morgan Griffith, were particularly skeptical. They questioned the timing of the release and stressed the absolute necessity for transparency in these matters. After all, understanding the origins of the SARS-CoV-2 virus could be pivotal in preventing future pandemics. The representatives' skepticism centered on the time lag between Ren's submission and the public release by the Chinese center. They wondered, was China truly prompt in releasing the crucial information, or were they withholding something? This question remains a point of contention in the scientific community. Was China's release prompt, or was information being withheld? How did the Health and Human Services respond to this controversy? The response was a clear emphasis on transparency and verification. The HHS spokesperson stated that despite follow-up efforts, they were unable to verify Ren's initial submission. However, the story doesn't end there. Another group stepped in, submitting a near-identical sequence on January 12, 2020. This sequence was verifiable and swiftly utilized by NIH scientists and others in their research on the origins of COVID-19. The HHS spokesperson's statement underscored the Chinese government's lack of transparency. The need for access to critical information for investigating future pandemics was highlighted, reflecting the lessons learned from the COVID-19 genetic sequence submission saga. It's clear that transparency isn't just a buzzword. It's a vital component of any pandemic response, ensuring that scientists worldwide have the information they need to understand and combat these diseases. Transparency is key in any pandemic response. The story of the COVID-19 genetic sequence submission underscores this critical point.